my gosh. Hello, my beautiful, beautiful people. I'm finally doing this. Okay. It's been almost a year since I recorded my first video in my apartment, telling my story, all of my lore. Thank you, birdies. It's been almost a year. I made that video, I think, in July. It is almost May the next year. And from September, October, November, December, January, February, March, and April, for all of those months, I have felt this pressure weighing on me to tell the rest of the story. But I'm so glad that I didn't record sooner, because I've learned so much. I'm grateful for the videos I made last year, but that version of me had no idea the journey before her. That version of me was a little naive. She didn't yet understand the full scope of what we were doing. She thought she was at the end, and she was maybe at the beginning of the end. We thought that we were about to bloom, but we were actually about to wilt and compost and rot. And be broken all the way down into something entirely new. So without further ado, I want to start off by saying, the same way that I was afraid to record last year, that was more so about being perceived. Now, I'm not afraid of being perceived. I'm way past that. I'm ready to be seen and heard. I think my hiccup and my disconnect has been perfectionism. Like, I so desperately want this video to hold the weight of what I've experienced and what I've learned. I so desperately want to be able to compile everything, to condense everything, to remember it all, to somehow make sure that me sitting here right now, I'm able to get it all out. And I know you're thinking, why don't you create an outline? I didn't want an outline. I didn't want my left brain hijacking this very right-brained moment for me. I just wanted to flow magically, so I'm okay with it being imperfect and messy. I'm okay with my awkward pauses. I'm okay with the silences. I'm okay with being me. Oh, I'm just, more than anything, I'm so glad that I'm actually doing this right now, because it has eaten me alive for months on months on months. But I know that there was no way to avoid the feeling. The feeling was not going to go away. I have to do it scared. Like I said, not scared of you watching. I want you to watch, but scared of me maybe not feeling capable of sharing my own testimony. So yeah, I'm not gonna let that happen. Okay, so let's rewind a little bit. If you haven't seen the first video, if you feel led to, go watch them, but you won't need to. Last year, when I was in my apartment in the summer, I had just been on a long journey, a long initiation of death and rebirth, of trust, of learning myself, recalibrating, all types of things. And there was a time when I was so sure of who I was and what I wanted. Just to kind of recap, initially I wanted to be in the entertainment world. I wanted to dance, act, model, sing, all of that. After many, many, many years of that not happening, I just became so spiritual that I made healing my identity. I made transmuting and alchemizing things my identity. And I fell in love with it, and I discovered my intuitive gifts. I discovered that I can help people. So I think I just chose to focus on that. I ended up getting certified as a spiritual life coach. I ended up getting certified in breath work and all types of things. And I was doing lashes full time. I had finally gained my independence, even though things were rocky. But I pretty much knew exactly what I wanted to do, and I was going to create my own spiritual healing practice, combining medical intuition and coaching and breath work and feminine embodiment and all of these different things that kind of make me who I am and kind of package them into a practice. Nevertheless, right when I had finished my breathwork course, I had a vision that I would transition out of lashes fully into that and all of these other things I just spoke of. And I was very adamant and I was very confident. However, also when I finished the breathwork course, as I stated in the last video, it was very rigorous on the body, mind, and spirit. I had faced every shadow, every demon, every layer of discomfort in my being, every trauma. And I just wanted to finally have some relief, you know? So when I graduated, I was like, what better way to close out this long ass cycle of healing than to fast for 30 days. I've never fasted as an adult, so this may be a nice chance to connect with God in a way that I haven't before and just kind of have a fresh start into this healing practice, right? Well, I decided to fast for 30 days and it flipped my world upside down. So how I said I was doing lashes full time, I almost never got clients ever again, which was very scary, being that I had a loft in Buckhead in Atlanta and I had bills to pay, you know, and I thought I was finally gonna escape survival mode, right? Well, the fast was the best thing that ever happened to me, except for the fact that I was not able to support myself anymore. It's like God had given me all these new tools and had loved on me so much and gave me so much insight about myself. So I thought that I would be rewarded for that, which of course I was, but in hindsight, back then, it's kind of like, what are you doing, God? You're taking away my livelihood. You're taking away my work. I knew I said I wanted to transition into my purpose. I didn't think that you were gonna completely snatch away my stability. But I take everything as a sign. So when God stopped my lash business, God also didn't necessarily give me the green light to begin my spiritual practice. So I was confused. It felt like everything that I was so sure of no longer was solid. It felt like everything that I was once so sure and so confident and excited about didn't feel as much of my identity anymore. And the first thing that God had told me to do was to take a dance class. And I literally began to have this robust, ripe, creative awakening like I've never had in my entire life. My style started changing. I started wearing berets and neck scarves and dressing like I lived in Paris and like I was an artist. I started writing a book and I started dancing again, and I started going to acting classes, and I had this intense desire to make music, and I'd even had a past life regression and realized that I've been an entertainer before. I've done all these things before. I've been royalty before. I've been a leader before. Like, I can be a healer and an entertainer. It's not just one or the other. And I began to get excited. I began to feel like myself again. The only thing that was wrong was that I wasn't making any money. My lash business came to a complete halt. And God had also been very adamant that I couldn't necessarily go back to anything that He had delivered. I couldn't go back to anything that I was already delivered from. Like, I couldn't do anything out of scarcity or anything out of lack or anything that didn't excite me or fulfill me. But I also couldn't get the things that did fulfill me to stick because every rug kept getting pulled from underneath me. Yeah, it was a really tough place to be. Nevertheless, while I was in my apartment, oh my gosh, it's so hard for me to speak sometimes. While I was in my apartment, I did every single creative thing that I possibly could with this newfound excitement, with this newfound zest that I hadn't had in eons, because I hadn't even associated myself with the arts in so long. So I did everything that I could, but I got evicted. And I personally felt like that wouldn't have happened to me. It's okay, Cherish. Get your thoughts together. Get your thoughts together. Get your thoughts together, Cherish. God had gave me such a sense of trust and such a sense of faith and confidence while I was in my apartment. If you remember from the last video, I was in my apartment for probably almost 7 or 8 months without paying my rent. So I was pretty much scared shitless every single day. Just felt like a living hell. And I didn't know what was going to happen, but I was in this, like, I don't want to say I was in a psychosis, but like God literally told me not to worry about it and that everything was going to be literally fine. So, and also not to like go and like work somewhere that like wasn't in alignment, which I want to make really clear because, yeah, that's like very key here in like unplugging myself from the matrix and mastering getting paid to exist. Like, this initiation is really important for that. So even to a fault, I was obedient. I was willing to lose everything to stay true to myself and to be obedient radically. Even if it looked like I was taking steps backwards to my friends or family, I just felt very convicted. So I had all the confidence that some sort of miracle or something was going to happen and the other shoe was not going to drop. My mom kept asking me, was I going to need a storage unit? And I was like, girl, no, we're not even gonna entertain that idea. Like, I'm gonna be swept off my feet from this apartment. Like, I literally thought that I wasn't gonna have to like go through anything like that. I thought that the worst was behind me. Like, I just knew that God was gonna pull through right at the moment that I needed it. However, I did need a storage unit. I did get an eviction date finally. And everything started moving so fast. So I started packing. I started getting rid of things. I would call friends over and just hand them bags and bags and bags of my belongings. And I started feeling excited about that because I'm like, oh, I'm making room. In the previous videos, all of that stuff had made me desire big, had made me want more. Like, I had really big dreams now. Like, I wanted to be famous now. I wanted to be an artist now. I saw myself not even as a millionaire, but as a billionaire. It's insane. Like, I didn't have any shame about desiring things. So when I started giving all my stuff away, I started feeling like I'm making room for that. I'm calling that in. I'm calling in that frequency because I'm getting rid of my old identity. At first, I was excited. And then I had friends help me pack the things that I was going to be able to put in storage. My mother ended up being right. I needed a storage unit. So I put as many things as I could in the storage unit, and anything that didn't resonate, I left or I gave away. And I didn't even know where I was gonna go that night. I ended up going with one of the friends that helped me pack the whole time, and I'm really grateful for that. I had a storage bin and I kind of created like this capsule wardrobe of like the most stylish outfits that you could imagine. I'm talking, there was like 6 or 7 hats in this bin. There were scarves in this bin. There were dresses, there were skirts, there were tops, there were like all these clothes for my new life. And then I was in acting class still, so I had scripts like for acting class in this bin. I had my toiletries in this bin. Like, I just had this bin that was literally my life. And I took it to my friends with my cat, Anubis, and I was just like, okay, I'm ready, God. Like, take me to where I'm going. And it never happened. So go. I met my friends. I had just paid for a tuition of acting classes, so I'm like, I gotta stay in Atlanta at least until these classes, at least until this month's classes are over. Like, it's the only thing keeping me here. It's my highest excitement. Like, nothing else is keeping me here. I've given up everything. I have nothing left that is like tethering me to this place or tethering me to my old identity. I'm completely free. The only thing that I have right now is this acting class. And I was dancing as well again, so that was amazing. But the only thing that I really had was this acting class. So I was literally like, okay, it's like September something, and my friend had given me 2 weeks to stay with her to finish the tuition for that month. I think it was like $130 for the month for acting, and you go every week. So I just needed to be able to do that. My acting class actually was walking distance from my apartment. So now I'm actually a little ways out, but I'm so grateful. I don't have a car at this point anymore, but I find a way to get to these acting classes, okay? And I am killing it. I'm making friends, we're collaborating, and I'm just like, I have to find a way to stay here in Atlanta. It's okay, Cherish. Okay, I'm taking these classes. It's the only thing keeping me going. The miracle is not here yet. I'm waking up checking my phone every day for something to pop off, for something to make everything that I had been through make sense. And nothing is cracking. Nothing is happening. So at this point, I'm literally like, okay, if I keep this up at this rate, I'm gonna end up back in Mississippi at my mom's house, which was like my one thing that I would never, ever, 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 ever do. If you watched the previous video, then I made it pretty prevalent there that I'm 26 now. So back before I was even 21, I was in this like kind of a relationship with someone like 12 years older than me when I was like 19 or 20. And my gosh, this is crazy. What's wrong with me? Okay, in the previous videos, when I kind of explained my lore, when I was a lot younger, I ended up in a situation in Atlanta before I had became an entrepreneur, before I had gained my independence. I ended up in a situation where I was in my car and I had nowhere to go. And I literally was at a crossroads of what I was gonna do. I was on the phone with my mom while I was in my car with my belongings at the time. And she was like, well, you know, you could drive here. And I was just like, yeah, that's not my personality. I'm gonna at least try first. And then it took several years, but I got to a really good place. So coming full circle, not even with a car now, with a bin of things that I'm romanticizing, I'm at a friend's for 2 weeks, literally no idea of what is next, banking on some sort of miracle, hanging by the thread of his garment, like, and the thread is like literally about to break. So I'm like, I can't end up back there. Like, I didn't end up back there before, so I can do it this time. The miracle doesn't seem to be happening, or maybe it will be happening tomorrow. I don't know, but I got to do my best to stay in Atlanta because here is going to be where the opportunities are. here or better. Because when I was on the phone with my mom at the time, she was like, oh, if you come here, like whatever you're doing, you're gonna have to like can it and go back to school and like actually maybe try another way besides your own. So when I heard that, I was like, oh hell no, I cannot end up back there. Like I'm finally like literally a veil pull away, like a curtain pull away from closing out this whole karmic loop of like everything I've ever been through. And I'm not about to like lose that now or have that robbed from me by going to Mississippi. Like, you're kidding me. So I'm at this friend's, and like I said, I'm finding every way to scrape money together to get to these acting classes and to kill it in these acting classes. And I'm also looking for any other possible thing that I can do. I got booked for a few opportunities. I'm just like really trying to like make something shake. I'm really embracing my online presence. Like I'm really like feeling like I'm in this like icon energy. Like I'm really embracing this like very unique energy. I don't know, but I feel like I had something and I was like, yeah, this is what I'm doing. I think. And I was just getting more and more creative by the second. Like at this point, I was so rich in spirit that like people could feel it on me. Like there's this like one cafe that I used to go to a lot, and the people there would be like, there's something about you, like you literally just float. And like one day we're gonna all still be sitting here and you're gonna be gone, and there's like these huge screens, like TV screens there that everyone watches like the game and stuff on. And people were like one day we're all still gonna be sitting here smoking hookah and we're gonna see you on these screens. Like you just have that. I don't know what you're doing, but like keep doing it. So I was on a little bit of a high, but at the same time I was just like, what is happening? Like, what am I supposed to do? I'm trying to use my intuitive navigation while at the same time ground this thing into reality. And I just feel like I'm being like it pulled back in a slingshot. I do have conflicts with this friend, and I don't want to talk about people. I want to talk about my journey. But there definitely were karmic issues with this friend where just by existing, I trigger that person, just by existing, and just by like what that person is navigating, triggering me, like all of that type of thing. Throughout that relationship. So I definitely, for the sake of being healthy, would have needed to leave this friend's house. So I ended up going to another friend's house, and this was also a close friend, and this was also a friend that gave me 2 weeks, which I was grateful for. But it's like, I can't really do much with that, you know? So this friend also lives in an entirely different part of town that was getting even further from my acting classes. So I was just trying to navigate that, as well as it's like, okay, if I was to like finally crack and like, okay, I need a job, like there's no way getting around it. You need a job. Like you're not doing lashes right now. You need a job. If I'm 2 weeks this place, 2 weeks that place, no car, what area do I get a job in? You know? So, and when I finally do get it and then I move I stay in another area. I don't know. So yeah, it's like I couldn't even like maneuver, like I couldn't even like navigate. So so while I was extremely grateful for another place to go, this was starting to also feel like, quoting my previous video, the karmic loop of how I climbed to where I got to, like over the years, how I got to the place that I was in Atlanta. It's almost like I was climbing back down that same mountain, going through the same types of things. So before I had my loft in Atlanta and I worked for myself and I was doing all of those things, there were a series of like survival mode events. There were a series of being in people's spaces, navigating problems with people, not feeling like I belonged anywhere, like all types of things. So it's like I was starting to see that, like, oh, I'm getting turned inside out. I'm actually on a trajectory of experiencing everything that got me to where I was again, to handle it all differently. And I started to notice that rather quickly, like, oh, we're just getting started here. I thought I was gonna get whisked away from my apartment. Like, it had already been like a year or two of like trudging through some sort of adversity, and like I was finally about to be rewarded. Like, no, babe, that was the cakewalk. That was the prelims. That was like the trial to like get you trained up for the real stuff. So I was like, oh, like, if you want to be this whatever and have this stuff, you're not done, babe. You have to become this person and you have more work to do. Like, it wasn't going to be on my timing. I wasn't yet ready, and I did not know yet what was cut out for me. So I'm at the second friend's house for the 2 weeks, and the 2 weeks flies by like nothing, and I'm scared shitless. I'm like, I cannot end up in Mississippi. I cannot end up in Mississippi. I cannot let all my dreams die. Like, I'm finally this close. I finally have remembered who I am. I finally have remembered what I'm here to do. I finally am on the program. I'm finally on the bandwagon. Like, I'm finally on the right track. I can't have this robbed from me. You know? So I'm like, damn, what am I gonna do? I have to stay here. So I end up finding a way to give her a proposition that I could help her with her company in exchange to like not get kicked out. And that, which bought me so much time, basically all the time ended up getting utilized for that, to make sense of me taking up space. So yeah. Whew. So that was an initiation in and of itself, because her and another one of my friends, which was also now this friend's friend, we are all working on this business together. And I was actually coined creative genius at the time, And I started actually learning even more about how creative I feel right now. And it was honestly, truly a huge gift, like a huge present to unwrap, even getting to experience that initiation while also simultaneously creating another wound to heal from in the long haul. So, gratitude, but also like more trauma was being created as I was trying to heal from the trauma that I'm just in general. And I'm starting to get vulnerable. I'm starting to get weak. I'm starting to get weary. I'm starting to get irritable. I'm starting to get cranky. I'm starting to get abrasive. I'm starting to not feel like myself anymore. I'm starting to feel almost like, and I'm talking about the past, but I was almost starting to feel like maybe like, like, have you seen those videos on TikTok of maybe like a kitten in an alley and it's like raining and it's like hissing and there's a person trying to save it or help it and it's literally like, but it's probably saying like, please love me, please help me, but it's like, no. I've just, felt so like hurt and just down on myself and down on everything. So no need to get into all the details and ins and outs there, but it also had become, I was going to have to leave this friend's house for the sake of the relationship and for the sake of really just being healthy. And the other friend that was also working on the company, I ended up going there. And I then wasn't as hands-on with the company, but it was now even further from my acting classes. So it was finally time to let that go. And this friend was able to give me a month because she was trying to get her house rented out so she could actually go on an adventure herself. So I was like, okay, I have a month to make it or break it. I have a month to get this show on the road. And my vision, honestly, was Paris, like New York and then Paris. Like, I wanted to be on like my Josephine Baker shit. Like, I wanted to just embrace fashion and culture and study like the Harlem Renaissance and go to jazz clubs and speakeasies and sing and dance and then take all of that to Paris. And even like, and I could just see myself like writing books in France and also like entertaining. So yeah, I could just see myself like at a coffee shop in France, just like writing a book, and then at night going on stage and like dancing and singing. Like, that's all I really wanted. It's like I didn't even want to do all this like direct healing service stuff anymore. I just wanted to create. I just wanted to perform. I didn't even want to do all this like healy stuff anymore. At least not the way that I was doing it before. I kind of just wanted to perform. I just wanted to be free now. Like, I feel like it was just calling me and it wanted me just as bad as I wanted it. Like, I wanted to make music so bad and do all of these things. And I just felt like it was slipping through my fingers because once I got to this friend's house, I got so sick. I ended up with walking pneumonia and I just never got better. Like, Atlanta was literally trying to chew me up and spit me back and send me back to where I came from. Like, it was literally rejecting me so hard. So yeah, my health was on a decline. It's the dead of winter. I'm grateful for each of these 3 friends that I was able to stay with, where I was able to learn and grow and I was able to gain beautiful gems and gifts from each of them, but also I accumulated more trauma and more pain as well, which is okay. So yeah, at this point I am sick and I'm tired. And that storage bin, at this point, I've been living out of that bin for about 3 months. Anubis. But yeah, there were things that it honestly makes no. There were things that happened that I just can't even speak on because I don't want to make this about anyone but me. And it's okay. So, gratitude before anything else. But I definitely ended up with a lot more to heal from. And if I caused people to need to heal any more than they already did, I apologize for that. But I definitely left very scathed and just very beat down, very sick, and very vulnerable, and very much feeling like a victim, which is not ideal, right? So yeah, I finally got some more clothes out of my storage unit, but for the most part, it was time to get home. It was time to go to Mississippi. So I finally let go of control. I finally let go of whatever in me or around me was telling me that I was supposed to fight this current or fight like the flow of the river, like, and go against it and go after things. I was just supposed to flow with the current, and the current was leading me home. The current was leading me home to myself and home to where I was raised. I wasn't born in Mississippi. I was born in California, but I was raised in Mississippi. It's where I began. It's where my love for the arts began. It's where everything started. And there were so many parts of me that I bypassed just to survive in LA and survive in Atlanta, that I just left in my back pocket to deal with for later. Breathwork helped me address a lot of those things, but there's only so much healing that you can do alone. There's only so much healing that you can do on your own. So God was pulling me home. The one place I did not want to go became the bridge. there was going to be no way out but through. And I finally understood this. I also finally understood in hindsight that back when I left my apartment, how everything just started getting worse and worse and worse. My old identity and my old environment, my old life had to crumble. Everything happens in the 5D before it happens in the 3D. So I really had tried my best not to let my 3D trigger me or to discourage me from what I knew to be true and what I knew was coming in and what I was becoming. You can't come out. I'm sorry, baby. So, oh my gosh, Anubis. If that curtain and all that stuff falls, my mom put these curtains up for me for this. No, you can't come out. I'm sorry. Lord, please help my ADHD right now. Okay, so anyways, I got as much stuff as I could, and I was able to get home. And it's not the house that I grew up in. I wish it was, but it's a beautiful home that I've only been to for holidays because I've always avoided spending time here. I've always been a workaholic. Like, I will come 3 days for Christmas and then open my lash books back up and have to go back. So this time, there was nothing to go back to. I usually would come here and have an entire life to go back to. A beautiful home to go back to, a car to go back to, friends to go back to, dinners and brunches and partying to go back to, art, whatever, you name it. This would be the first time that I would be with my family and have nothing to run from, nothing to escape to. So I came here and immediately my sickness was healed. Immediately, that walking pneumonia that I could not shake in Atlanta disappeared. I felt better. Also, there was heat here. It was winter. So, yeah. I got here in December. I immediately felt better. But I also had so much to grieve, because it meant that everything before was really over. But I also was excited because immediately I realized that there was never going to be any way out of this karmic loop besides coming here. The first time that I ended up in a situation, I didn't come here. When I was climbing up the mountain, I didn't allow myself to ever come here. The way down, the difference is that I do come here to close the cycle out. Like, I didn't realize from my apartment, from fasting last year and losing everything slowly, that I was in a slingshot and I was being pulled back and back and back and back and back and back and back, all the way until I made it back here. And then we take off. I did not yet realize the full scope of what I was in or what I signed up for. I wanted big. Like, I asked for big. I prayed for huge. And I was prepared to sacrifice and give up huge. But I still had no idea the scope of the journey. Like, I was already weary. Like, I was weary 2 years ago. I was weary last year, thinking that I was finally at the finish line. But it didn't even start. It literally did not even start until I left my apartment. And that's when I thought it was over, which is crazy. So being here has been a whirlwind of emotions because I'm instantly transported back to my inner child. I'm instantly transported back to everything that's made me who I am, but that I forgot. Everything that I'm able to rediscover about myself, that things that I may have overlooked, I'm able to rediscover a layer of myself. I hadn't spent time here in so long that it was really just a figment of my imagination being here. And even my family was a figment of my imagination. Like, I have a sister. I have a sister a few years younger than me. And for so many years in Atlanta, I would go to sleep at night thinking about her and the fact that we didn't have a relationship. Or I would go to sleep thinking about her and my mother, and just like so badly wanting to like provide for them or like create a life for them where they could be happy. And like, everything didn't have to be so divisive. Like, I talked a little bit about my stepdad in the past video, but he disowned me like almost 4 years ago. And it's crazy, like, oh God, that's gonna like rough me up now, but yeah, he disowned me. And then last year, while I was fasting and navigating all of that, he had a stroke and hit a tree and ended up like disabled and stuff. And there's like this running pattern with him and in my childhood that he was obviously a narcissist, but like just abusive in different ways, and that everything always kind of got glazed over, or like I always kind of like thought about him before myself, or in the name of like making sense on paper or like doing the right thing, I always kind of turned the other cheek, or I always kind of did what I thought was right, like forgive and forget, or kind of like bypass my emotions. When I was younger, just because I thought like that's how you love. My mother used to be very codependent, and she would weave that in with the religion of like, oh, this person's gonna change or whatever. And when they got divorced and everything, he was still like very present in my life, but our foundation wasn't solid because there were just so many things that I had decided to for I had decided to forgive him for without actually processing or like actually like feeling in my body. I don't know. And like breath work did a lot of the work, but like I wasn't on the same soil as him, you know? Like if you disown somebody, you don't have access to them. So I hadn't even seen this man in 3-4 years, let alone heard his voice, let alone seen a picture. Like, you're gone. Like, you're out of, like, I don't have a dad, right? Well, when he had that stroke and everything, that opened up the same pattern of somehow the thing that happened to me getting bypassed for sympathy of him or what he's going through, because now it's no longer about my wound, it's about the fact that he's hurt, and now like he needs to hear from me or hear get well soon and all of that, when I wasn't able to get the support that I needed or even like a correct apology. Like my one non-negotiable was that this wouldn't have been something for me to fix. Like I'm always the one that holds the intellectual or emotional labor of a problem with a masculine, and I'm always the one that, like, if it's not for me, nothing happens, you know? So like I wasn't about to coach him through my own apology facilitation. Like that's all his job, and if it wasn't going to happen, then we just wouldn't ever reconcile, right? But then it's like all of that is overridden when I have to talk to you because you're hurt and you're injured, and it's like that's what I always do. So anyway, fast forward to coming here, it was even worse because I mean, my parents are divorced, so it's not that he lived with us, but I came here in December. So for Christmas, for New Year's, and several other times, this man has came to stay with us. Like either if his house didn't have heat or something, or like if something happened, or just because it's a holiday. Like imagine on top of everything that I'm navigating of just like grieving that my old life is gone, that I let it go, that there's nowhere for me to turn to, and just like keeping all of my dreams alive while also being literally on Trigger Island. Like then I have a whole like father wound of like a person that I haven't even seen, let alone have like, you know, like I literally almost threw up and had diarrhea at the same time, because it's like, how do I just bypass everything and have to like be in the same house as you when you disowned me? And my one thing that I need to heal is to not pretend like this never happened, and that's exactly what's about to happen. So of course, I think it was for Christmas or something, he's in a wheelchair, so my sister had wheeled him in here, and I have to hug him and be like, hey, how are you? And then I also from there had to once clean his pee off the floor and like serve him food and help him turn the TV to find a movie and sit in small talk with him, and all of those kinds of things. That just feel like everything got deleted. And it takes me back to high school. Junior year of high school, that I did actually get molested. And when my mom asked me what I wanted, I said I just wanted to pretend that nothing happened, like move on, whatever, by him. And that's what we were gonna do. Because that was my choice, right? And anyways, I don't even know if I should talk about this on here because like I'm close with my mom and I don't want any problems for anybody. But nevertheless, long story short, that got glazed over. I did end up having to talk to CPS, but I had to basically tell them that nothing happened. So for the sake of my sister, because that's her real dad, and just the sake of like everything just not getting messy, which I guess that's what I asked for, so that's what I got. Which, okay, cool, fine. But this time, as a grown-ass adult, when you disowned me, when I could have been disowned your ass, I still gotta graze over this shit on top of everything else that I've been through like the last 3 years. Yeah, my body was not happy with me. Like, my body, complete fight or flight, literal chest pains, like literal broken heart. Literal chest pains shooting down my arm for weeks here. So yeah, that's been something to navigate. Also, a blessing is that being here, originally, like I said, I didn't have a relationship with my sister because my stepdad kind of divided us and kind of like painted narratives. But it's like I've been gone since 2016. So anything that you think you know about me, you probably don't. So I wasn't really able to be here for my sister, and she wasn't even really able to like know who I am or what I stand for herself. So now that I'm here and she's able to like feel my presence and my spirit, we have a beautiful relationship. Like, I would have never like thought to like ask for that right now. With everything else that I was chasing. With everything else that I was chasing. The fact that I was running from my family is crazy because this is priceless. I feel like I do have a connection with her. I feel like we're gonna be okay. And that alone is worth it to have come here. That alone is worth it. And I have a niece. She has a daughter. I have a 4-year-old niece that actually gets to experience her auntie. And we do yoga, and we do breath work, and we dance, and we play. And I'm so grateful. And my mom doesn't have to worry shitless about me across the country or in another town trying to survive. She has everyone here. She has her babies here. Everyone is accounted for. Everyone is here. So while I've been triggered as all get out by everybody, because the house is chaotic, everybody fights, it's still my family that I once had to cling on to old memories to feel close to them. I had to reminisce about my childhood and like pull things from to try to feel close to them. And I would have a picture of them on my nightstand in Atlanta. But now I'm here. It's been almost a decade since I've been here. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful to be here, but so I've really been trying to embrace it for what it is. I haven't tried to escape. I haven't tried to hack my way out of here. I've just been healing my inner child, hands-on, not away, but in the middle of everything. Because how was I gonna quantum leap with all of this baggage? How was I gonna quantum leap with the family stuff not accounted for? Like, God is so intentional. God is literally so intentional. How on earth did I think I was gonna get whisked away from my apartment 6 months ago or more ago without having gone through all of this and everything that it's created in me? There definitely are some dark sides to being here that I've had to face. The first few months were very depressing. As spring has sprung, I've begun to thaw out and soften a little bit more. But for the most part, every day feels the same and everything just bleeds together. And I don't feel like I have a playground. I do my best. I do yoga outside. I romanticize my life as much as possible. I still do my skincare routine. I still sip my cacao and my teas. But I need more. I need more, and I know I will get more. I know I'll get more. But I'm really trying to be where my feet are and embrace how slow it is and just how present I am, and just rest from the survival mode of like everything that I've been through. Like, I have a bed, even though it's the twin bed that I slept in, that I grew up sleeping in, and it's not a nice queen size Tempur-Pedic, and I don't have all my old things. I feel like a freaking child, and I felt so alone. For the first time, I am with my family, but other than that, I have felt so alone. This journey has prompted for me to be completely isolated. No one has resonated since I got here. The old shoe does not fit. Like, I have gone days, weeks, and months with no human contact outside of my family. Not because I don't want friends, but because nothing has felt good enough as nothing has felt as good as my solitude. I haven't felt seen, I haven't felt heard, I haven't felt validated, I haven't felt supported in my decisions and in my journey, especially that I came here to rest. I'm still not working at some job in Mississippi, but that has its pros and cons because it's like I'm trapped. I don't really go anywhere. If I'm not really making my own money, so I'm not asking anyone for money. So I'm not really doing things. I made it to week 7 of The Artist's Way, which I love, but I kind of reached a plateau. It's been really rough to stay the course here. But I think the worst part of being here has been this video looming over me and being afraid that I wouldn't get everything out perfectly. But I still haven't got it out perfectly. I still don't even know if I've translated the weight or even the beauty of what I've learned. And that's okay, because I feel different. And I'm very excited to set myself free. By doing this, I love the wind. I'm so appreciative to the way that nature has responded to me today. And I'm so excited to document more of this journey. I may not have gotten everything out today. It may not even be perfect, but it's me. It's my essence. And I hope that you even felt the space between my words. And I hope that you see me. I hope that anyone that has been staying a course and staying obedient to the Holy Spirit for a long time, and every day waking up thinking that it has to be the day that everything changes, I hope that you realize that you are the miracle. I hope you realize that you're not waiting for anything. The only thing you're waiting for is to see yourself for who you are and to be that version of you now. Intellectually, you're smart enough to get that. But you have to feel it in your body. You have to feel it. I will always be a person that takes inspired action. Every action that I take has to be aligned with my higher self. I'm not interested in doing things that appease the masses or seem like progress to people that are taking steps based on optics. This isn't about optics. This is about closing out a big karmic loop. Even if I have an audience of one and I'm only pleasing God, even if no one understands, even if everyone thinks I'm crazy or that I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do, I know that I've done everything right. And I don't need convincing. It's getting a little too dark out here. So I will see you in the next video. And I promise I won't keep you waiting. I love you. Believe in yourself.